Welcome back to the Underground Station. My name is Star, aka Star J. I am the host of the Underground Station, and right now we're back doing another Creatives Around the World series, and we have our first guest of the season, Sa'Miya. Welcome, my friend.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so happy to actually just have you sitting right here because it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I agree. We long overdue. We tried to do this when? Like last year?
Last year, the year before last, like everything. Me and Sa'Miya. Oh, what happened?
No, I was laughing because you said, yeah, and the year before last.
Me and Sa'Miya actually know each other from going to a performing arts school, Thomas G. Pullen. Shout out to Thomas G. Pullen. But then she, had to go to another performing arts school, Benjamin D. Floyd's, because of a split in just the zoning of schools. So yeah, we go way back.
We kept the family, the arts family all together and everything.
Yeah. And Sa'Miya has also done a workshop for MBTA as well, and we're so grateful for that experience and to just have you lead a workshop and your creativity. Let's jump into it. So, you juggle a lot in life, just from working, your recent musical that you were in, doing music. Tell us a little bit about how you even started in the arts, because I know it goes before even Thomas G. Pullen, but being back in Mississippi.
Well, I grew up in Greenville, Mississippi. My grandma, she's like the usher of the church. My granddad was a deacon. So like we used to always have to sing. It was like one of those churches you had to go to Sunday school, choir rehearsal, and you had to go to church on Sunday and whatever they were having in between. So I was always kind of in the church, so I would see like singers and stuff, and I always watched a lot of YouTube, and my dad's side of the family sing, my mom's side of the family sing. So honestly, that's where it kind of began. And then when I moved to Maryland, I would, of course, Pullen was like a creative performing arts school. So it was like you were introduced to every single thing. Like I didn't know exactly what it is that I wanted to do, which made it so nice because as you know, we had to do all the majors up until you got to like 6th grade, and then you had to choose which one you wanted to do, which was like a unique experience for me. And then going to Floyd, it was like an extra push because it was also a creative arts academy. So it kind of started from there. But even when I moved to Maryland, I would go back down to Mississippi to see my grandma and them, and then they would call me up to the choir stands, like no rehearsal, nothing. I'm like, I don't even know this song. And they would call me up there and I would just sing like, so, you kind of learn quickly. So, and then Bowie, when I ended up going to Bowie was like the first time I actually got to travel and sing. So then I kind of grew like a love for travel with them. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the origin of it all. But honestly, I've always just had a love for the arts in like every form. So I didn't want to be tied to just like one thing. Like I love singing, but like I have a respect for all.
Yeah. Just being able to dabble into everything is just like, it's amazing because art is beautiful and it comes in many different forms, and singing, dancing, painting, whatever that may be. We got to experience it all. So it was a beautiful thing. How do you feel like, just being at those schools and being early on in like the arts field, how do you feel like it prepared you just for who you are today?
Oh, that's good. I will say, like, the Pullen family and the Floyd family, like, we all stayed really close. So, honestly, it kind of already created a network for me, which made it easier because I can see, like you starting your nonprofit, and I can see, like, you're posting things. And so I can go to, like, those creative events because we already have, like, that network. And so now, me and being the person I am, I was always, people don't know this, but I never actually wanted to sing in front of people. Like I hated singing in front of people. I used to just like choirs.
We can't tell.
Exclusive. But no, like, I used to hate singing in front of people. And it wasn't really until I got to Bowie where I was kind of forced because of Delta, like to sing in front of people. And it was like, oh, I'm like the songbird of my line. So I had to like forcibly sing in front of people in the gospel choir, and I had people that would hear me and be like, hold on, come here, step out real quick, can you sing that by yourself real quick? And I'm like, no, like it's okay. And so I think just being in the arts and seeing all the different mediums and just everybody just being like just crazy talented from a young age, even though I didn't necessarily see it in myself at that time, I did feel like just being exposed to it made a difference because I knew I never not wanted it in my life, you know? So I think, yeah. So I think now it plays a big part in it because now I'm like, oh, I've seen it. Like, you know, I used to have this big, not necessarily personality, but I used to have this like just huge desire to always want to be in like creative spaces. So I think now as an adult, I have the opportunity to do that more. You know, I am in like the DMV hub itself is just full of creatives, very underground. You know, so yeah, I think that's played a huge role in it now.
Do you feel like, well, even before you step foot on like the church stage, when was the actual time you really stepped foot like on stage? Because I thought I remember seeing you like when we had the little American Idol at Pull In. I thought you was on stage.
Was I? I don't know, girl. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But I don't think it was like, well, I mean, Pull In always had me like in plays and stuff. And like the first time I did it, it was like, I don't know what play we were doing at Pull In, but I distinctly remember that's when that song, No One by Alicia Keys came out. And they had us like audition. My mom wanted me to be a part of this play at school. I don't even really know why. And I had a whole different song I wanted to sing by, I think it was like Fantasia or something like that. And I wanted to sing it, but in that moment I saw everybody else like doing that song, No One. So I went up there and I did No One like crazy. But so that was like one time, but I remember in high school, because I went to Wise for high school, and I really found, like I used to, and this is probably bad, but I used to skip school so that I could literally like go and sing, like skip my classes, not school, but like skip my classes so I could stay after school and like sing with friends. And so then my teacher, Miss Howard, God rest her soul, because she just passed away, she was literally like the first push where she was like, oh, I'm signing you up for advanced choir. And then she was like, oh, I'm signing you up for honors choir, which is basically you take the high school students that are in advanced choirs all across Prince George's County, and then you put them in one big choir. And so I remember this lady, Linda Hall, she told me, she was like, my friend Rob had signed me up for a solo. I did not want to do it. He signed me up. I told you I didn't like singing in front of people. I was just choir, just fine. Rob signed me up, and then the next day, I'm like, oh, I scratched my name out. So Miss Hall, she saw that I scratched my name out, and she said my name anyway to sing the solo. She was like, Sa'Miya Wooten, I want you to sing the solo. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. She was like, sing. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So she had me sing, and everybody was like, oh, wow, like you can actually sing. So I ended up doing a solo on TV for like the Prince George's County channel. So that was like the first time that I was like, okay, like people might see something and I just need to like go with it. So yeah, I would say that.
People, it's funny how people work. Like they always see what we can't see in ourselves sometimes, and sometimes we just need that extra push to like really push us out there for real.
You need good people that see you for you. Yeah, for sure.
So moving a little bit more into just like your leadership and, you know, the evolution of, you know, you as Sa'Miya. We're gonna go a little bit back to just like high school, and I know Wise. I remember that viral video of y'all singing at the piano. Like I remember that video. But you founded an organization, a group, Speak Easy, just to spark dialogue around like mental health, and you know you later did stuff at Bowie State. But talk about Speak Easy.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I really clearly I like to talk. I used to always talk to people, but I knew that I had an interest in helping people and still like with the arts. So I took the counselors at our school. I had a really good relationship with them, Miss Melody Thompson. And we came together and we basically created like a mini club where students came out and we would just like talk about just giving them a space to like express themselves and what was going on. But I think it was important to have like actual mental health services there, like the guidance counselors that were there in case it got to that point. And so unfortunately I didn't keep it going for so long because I started to realize like, oh, this is serious. You know, I'm like, okay, I need to like regroup, you know, but I am glad in the time that I did do it because I did feel like it was making an impact, and it was kind of like the spark of somewhere. I'm like, oh, people are actually interested in this. They want to do it the way that I'm bringing it. And I think it's just needed overall. So yeah, Wise was, yeah,
Yeah, I definitely think things like that are needed. And like you're big on mental health, music, the arts, and it's just like combining those together is is a beautiful thing. And I want you to talk a little bit about your work for us and what you did at our wellness event.
First of all, I love your org. I will do any and everything I can. Anytime you call me, I will always try my best to be there because I love what you guys are doing. And I think, black woman to black woman, I see what it is that you're doing. But anyway, because I can go on and on because I do this all the time. But yeah, I love what you guys are doing. So, yeah, if you guys didn't know, Star was the first person that ever gave me a platform to be able to do my expressive art therapy, like fresh out of grad school. And I was doing play therapy and expressive art therapy at Resilient Child Therapy Institute. And so, Star essentially believed in me and gave me a platform. And so I was able to do like potentially like music therapy and art therapy together. I basically gave everybody a prompt. I think we had ages there from like 6 to like 70. And so I mixed up the groups. And I remember feeling in that moment like, oh my gosh, I don't know how this is going to work. Like, it's not just one target age group, it's like everybody. But I was like, you got to take a chance, trust God. And we did it. And I gave them a prompt like, how has music impacted your life? I had everybody choose a genre that they wanted to do and then create an album cover to represent their group. And it was so fun because, you got the 6-year-old with the 65-year-old and then the 12-year-old and then the 36-year-old all together in one group. And they even created like this song. And it was just so much fun. And my whole goal was just to make sure that like we know as a community how we can come together to like impact and just the spotlight on how like music is helping people. My final grad school paper was about how they're cutting funding for the arts. And so I'm just like, we need to go back to the roots of it all. Even, even in slavery times, Black people were making hymns to help them get through whatever tragedy and trauma that was happening. So it's just like, this is a historical thing that has helped us and that's still present. So it's like, having a platform like yours to be able to do that and just do it on a whim, and it just works so well. It's just like, this is about community impact. This is about how music is saving our lives and just like what we can do and just also having fun. So that was really fun. So I'm really grateful to you.
It was a great time. I think everybody enjoyed it. Again, like you said, it was like kids from 6 to 70, and the way you just brought the group together and everybody together to not only have fun but to express yourself. Like some people, what haven't been in a group like that or done something like that. So to really bring that out of them and show like, we can all come together through the arts. It was an amazing thing.
What's interesting was so many people thought that they couldn't do it. Like I remember everybody just being like, "Oh, I don't rap, I don't sing." I'm like, this is not about being good. This is not about like having to know how to draw. Like you don't have to know how to draw to make art. Like there's so much abstract art and you can find literally any type of song that you want like on the internet. It's just about expression, like whatever you need to get it out. And so at the end of it, I'm like, see, told y'all, like you don't have to know how to rap, you don't have to know how to sing, but it's just about having fun and like talking about the impact. So yeah.
Well, moving back a little back into Bowie State, and just I want you to talk a little bit about your roles that you did there, like leading there. Also, how has the connections there at Bowie State helped you today, as far as just like music and trying new things in the creative scene?
Yeah, when I was at Bowie, I was very active at Bowie, but that was mainly because I just didn't want to go home. That was really what it was. I was like in homecoming committee. I was junior class president, senior class vice president. I was also in the gospel choir while I was there. And like I was saying before, like the gospel choir was the reason why I finally got to travel. Like before then, I wasn't really traveling, and now I be traveling. I know you be traveling, but so like now, yeah, Bowie was like the first time I got to do it on like a musical level. So like we're going to like Vegas and just all these different types of places with my voice. And I was just like, oh, like this is really nice. And so Bowie definitely got me that opportunity, but also being in like different leadership positions within SGA and like, on homecoming committees and stuff like that. It was like it taught me how to be a leader and find balance because I still, had 3.0 and up, and then also Delta, like I said, Delta was like, it really taught me like just the notion of like grit and like hard work and also showing up and actually doing something that's going to be impactful. So like the community service that we're doing and then also the programs that we're planning, the step shows that we're preparing for, and then also knowing that other people are counting on you to make an impact, but also people are just watching you in general. So it's like I had to keep those things in mind. But really, at that time, honestly, I didn't even realize how much people were paying attention. You know, when I left Bowie, I had more people like, oh yeah, you a Bowie legend. I'm like, what? No, I don't believe that. But even now when I go back and people are like, oh yeah, I know you. You're the one that made the Bowie State chant. And I'm like, oh, y'all doing that at the game? And that was just for fun, you know?
Okay, that is a legend.
Exclusive. But but just like having fun with it. I think that was the whole thing. And I didn't really care about everybody's gaze, but I knew that it was important that if I'm in these positions, I also have to be an example. So I think that was the thing. But Bowie definitely did that for me. And so now in the arts and stuff, like I talked about that network, it made it so much easier because Bowie is like a small school. So just like how Pullen and Falloy is like we all kind of know each other. So if I go somewhere and I'm at a creative event, I'll see a Bowie person. I'm like, oh, didn't you go to Bowie? And they're like, yeah, I went to Bowie. And then now we talking, because it's that family oriented. So yeah, I think Bowie has helped me with that network for sure.
Yeah, I love that. I love that we can just come together as a creative family
Mhm.
and just, have these different backgrounds and,
For sure.
just connect in different ways. Um, so with you just balancing a lot as far as like working as a medical administrator of for military clinics, by the day, then leading expressive workshops, and then you got, performing at night, which we'll get into a little bit about the jam revenue in a little bit. But how do you really completely balance the both and feed into everything?
I don't know if I'm doing good at balancing it actually. If I'm being honest. Honestly, I do have to find periods of isolation because all that stuff can catch up to you. So I'm pro advocate of like sometimes you do have to just tune out the world a little bit. Even to get into your creative space, sometimes you have to like tune out, to like make a song, to study that song for, this musical. So backtracking. Um, Ask me the question again.
Okay, so basically the question was focusing on
How am I balancing?
balancing both and
Okay,
feeding into
okay.
everything.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'm doing well with that, but one thing that I do try to do is make sure that whatever needs to be prioritized, I'm prioritizing it. Especially number one is my job. Like my job, working for the military system, I have a respect for people who are serving in general because that's just like mind, body, and soul, like every single day. So I take it seriously when I'm doing it, and I know that that's just my day thing, you know. So I give my all into my day, and then afterwards I dedicate time to whatever it is in my craft that I have to do. So even if it's like jam review, doing their musical, I had to learn a whole bunch of music, and I also had to sacrifice time being with my friends and going out and some sleep sometimes to make sure that I'm like, I know my music, I know my stuff, I know my dance moves. And that was like probably one of the most challenging things I've ever done. And I almost didn't do it. Almost didn't do it. Like they found me on TikTok, believe it or not. They found me on TikTok. And I'm like, once again, I didn't even know these people were like watching me, you know? But when I just post and go sometimes. I don't be thinking about and it's a blessing and a curse sometimes, but just post to go. So I was posting and someone reached out to me and I thought it was like a little scam at first. So I didn't say nothing. And then somebody reached back out from a different page like, hey, the people that just DM'd you Jan Review? Yeah, I'm a part of their group. We saw your TikTok. We're interested in you. And so I didn't submit my audition video until the very, very last day. You know how like sometimes you have an assignment, do it at 11:59. I probably submitted like 11:58, like the last day. And so I'm glad that I did though, because it brought me a whole new network of like creatives, like I said, and not from school or anything else. It was just like something that I did on my end, and they've been doing their production for about 13 years, I think. 13 years. They've done 23 shows. Well, technically it's their 16th year, but 13 years of like actually doing the showcase and stuff. And so I was just happy to be a part of something just so extremely professional. I don't even think the videos and pictures really suffice for what it is that they do. And I started thinking about it too. Beyonce, what would Beyonce do? Like Beyonce is gonna get up, she's gonna work hard, You see her work ethic in everything that she does. She doesn't half do anything. So I really be thinking about that, like the legends that are currently living and before us, they work, and so I'm like, I just it's just a sacrifice if you really want it. So I keep those things in the back of my head to do it, like, and I also have to make sure I'm listening to my body. Like, am I overworking myself? Am I extremely tired? Am I irritable? Have I eaten today? And then I think it's also good to just have friends and people around you that can let you know, like, girl, you look crazy. You need to sit down. My mom, she tells me that all the time. She be like, girl, you doing too much. I ain't seen you in 3 weeks. Sit down.